Hello, all. I hope all are doing well. Let me start off by saying I'm sorry that last week I missed the weekly portion. I was traveling, and unfortunately, it did not work out. I will see if I will add another installment uh, throughout the week, or perhaps you guys will catch me on next year's cycle. Regardless, I want to say that I am thankful and humbled by responses I got from people asking and wondering where I was last week. So it's very nice to see, and I hope you're all enjoying the content as much as possible and learning from it, of course. And without further ado, let's kick it with this week's portion, which is the portion of Tazria. The root comes from zera, means seed, and the in the context of what we're reading right now in this portion, Tazria is childbirth, and this portion focuses primarily on childbirth, the laws of childbirth, and the laws with regards to leopards and leprosy, its affliction on the skin, on clothing, on one's house. Today, regardless, we're going to focus on childbirth a little. Of course, I have not yet experienced such a miracle, but nevertheless, I will try to partake some thoughts on this, which is that birth is one of the most joyful events in a family life. To those of us who have experienced this, and to those who haven't, I hope they do so very soon because it is really miraculous, and it is such a beautiful moment. However, in this moment, suddenly impurity appears, or this is what we're told at least. And it is strange because impurity is usually symbolized by death, and purification is symbolized by life. And here, at a moment where a new life is being introduced, why are we being told that we're dealing with impurity and not purification? Now, we should off the bat just mention uh, that in Judaism, we don't have any of this notion with regards to original sin and the connection to birth and original sin. So there's obviously no sin with regards to birth itself, and we regard the birth process with seriousness and holiness as well. And the whole period of the woman being pregnant, and she's actually carrying the future within her, and she's filled with life and joy. Now, when she actually gives birth, the future is no longer residing within her physically, and the life is leaving her and is placed in the cradle or the package life. Now, there is a psychoanalytic explanation to this, which is, the postmodern crisis that some women go through, where a woman was very sensual before, and now the newborn is occupying her place. And from this perspective, one could say that in every birth, there's a certain aspect of death as well for the mother in this case. And this feeling creeps into the soul of the mother, and there's some mental difficulty in reconciling the birth process, and that's why she has to also bring a sin offering. Now, since the woman is the focus of the childbirth, and the man in this case is an agent, uh, he's the cause of birth in this case. He's the donor. Um, there is the conversation, the dialogue that God is looking to have over here. There's a preference to the woman. She is bringing the additional burnt offering on top of the sin offering, and she's there to have the dialogue with God. Now, we don't have to delve into the verses themselves, but in the story of Genesis, we see that it's not so clear that Eve is expelled from Eden. Adam definitely is, but there's a sense where Eve remains in Eden, and therefore we could say that a woman, generally speaking, belongs less to this world flow, and more to eternity. And because within her there's the ability to give birth, and that transforms her into a creator, and a creator is of course above the created. Now, the Bible also hints to this in the story of Lot's daughters, or the midwives in Egypt, where they're willing to risk everything in order to save the world, so to speak, and to continue life on. They are the givers of love. They are the creators once all seemed lost. Now, we should note the importance of the female life, that it's so great that when a woman gives birth to a daughter, to a female, the impurity is doubled. And the reason is because if in a male we have the strength that we spoke about, that life strength, that life force that leaves her, with a woman it's doubled, because a female child, a female baby, has the potential to also itself give life. So here too, we have to understand that the impurity is doubled as well. Now, it is true that some male tendencies are to want specifically sons, and this is due to the fact that, generally speaking, men are more active in the world and women are operating more covertly. And that's why it's natural for men to sort of want an active person involved in the world and an active offspring. But in truth, in the depth, the female identity is more defined. While it's true that overtly in human history, men were the ones that have conducted themselves in the political and the social movements. Um, However, uh, um, we have to realize that that doesn't mean that that's how it always needs to be. Now, well, according to this reading, there isn't an equality between men and women that we hear about in today's day and age. And instead, we're seeing differences in identities, while, of course, maintaining mutual respect. However, we should be aware that uncovering the feminine elements of our Torah, and which are stressed in our mystical traditions, are really part of the repair, part of the tikkun olam that is needed in this world. We have to realize, to create spaces and to reveal again and tap into again these feminine forces. That doesn't necessarily mean, while it also means that we have to be championing and creating spaces for women, there's also within men themselves connecting to their feminine side. There's, of course, dichotomies over here with regards to the right brain and left brain, but those are for greater and wiser men to discuss. And so I wish us all a Shabbat Shalom and a chance to look inwards and realize how we have tremendous forces inside us. And for a long time of history, we have been focusing more on one, and we need to be able, together in a partnership, create a space to allow us to manifest more of the other as well. Shabbat Shalom, and take care.